Yeah? Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, hello. Does everybody have a seat? There are many bystanders around the fringes. Please do sit down. And I know there are a lot that have already been networking and working for an hour, which is totally admirable. So, ladies and gentlemen, ministers, excellencies, speakers, beloved sponsors and partners, and Novatore sisters and brothers. Labrit, terre homicus, labas ritas, bonjour, good morning, good morgon. What a pleasure to see so many faces full of anticipation. What a pleasure. So let me first actually take the opportunity to thank a rising star who's not in the room, namely pianist Bogdan Mikhailov from Latvia's renowned Riga Cathedral Choir School, for blessing us with good music first thing in the morning, and you'll hear him again at lunchtime. And thus, officially, welcome to the third Novatore Impact Summit. I am Baiba Rubesa, and next to me, Dagnija Lejiņa, both of us Novatore's co-founders. And today, we will have the privilege of guiding you through the program ourselves. Now, resilience is the name of the game. These days, every day, resilience, big and small, is of the essence. At our first summit, I spoke about continuous upheaval on the global stage, and that hasn't changed. We still have an existential war in Ukraine. The Middle East is aflame, let alone Sudan and Myanmar, that we rarely think of. We see authoritarian, intolerant politicians on the rise everywhere. And in a mere year's time, the discussion of artificial intelligence as a disruptor, or at least as a potential disruptor, has exploded. In Europe, we seem to have become more pragmatic on how to avoid the predicted climate calamity. At least it seems so when the summer is hotter and the winter ravaging. So in a nutshell, predictability has further eroded. And to repeat my own words, we must continue to work on building women's and society's resilience for peace, security, and prosperity. And having a thriving economy is essential to that. Resilience, growth, and improvement starts with us. But where to start? We're a room full of women leaders and a few men, focused, curious, ambitious, hardworking. And you know, I'm often asked what it is that women need to overcome great leaders. I don't think I've ever heard a man ask that question, but let's leave that there. A little while ago, someone else articulated the answer perfectly for me. Let's see what Gloria has to say. Video, please.
Like, we have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong. Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money, because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged, so find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also Everything is your fault.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let us build a strong sisterhood in our region and work on the contradictions Gloria pointed out to Barbie to make sure we drive a strong economy empowered by women. So, Dagnija, where do we go from here?
Thank you very much, Baiba, for drawing to us this big picture, but also a very emotional message here as well. I felt it was very relevant, at least to me, and I think to many of us. But I'm also very, very excited that this puzzle of 6 months, very intense work of our team has been successful, and welcome you all here, 300 participants, Madam Prime Minister, ambassadors, participants from corporate institutions, from government, from many, their own businesses. You are here, so I think we all deserve big applause once more. But when I am thinking about Novatore Impact Summit, for me, and I believe also for our team and our supporters, one of the main keywords is women's economic empowerment. Honestly, in Latvian, we don't have a very precise and good translation for the term empowerment. And I was trying to figure out what could be the good term. It's iespējot, spēcināt, iespēcināt. In a classical meaning, empowerment means to give power, to make oneself more confident, to make oneself feel that she or he is in control of his or her life. Actually, it's a good feeling, right? But there's also another dimension, and it's not only to give the power, but also to take the power. So it's not a passive position to wait for, but actually it's a proactive position. So this is what Novatore stands for, how to be proactive and how to boost women's economic empowerment ourselves. Of course, we are not naive, and we acknowledge the complexity of this issue. And I think that our team has selected a very nice metaphor for that, these puzzle elements here on the stage, which actually means that it's a work. These are efforts which are demanded by all of us. On one hand, it requires big policies, strategies implemented on the states and also in the corporate level, on business level. But on the other hand, it also means it is this willingness of us, women and men, to challenge this issue and to work together to achieve the gender parity. And I think it's very important, the idea is that we should want it, that we should want the power, we should want the impact, and we should want to make the world a better place. So is women's economic empowerment an issue? And actually this question I have been asked for these 3 years since we, with Baiba, established Novatore. And honestly, I have had a lot of doubts about this. Maybe it's kind of pseudo issue, you know, it's kind of not relevant agenda point we are standing for. And in many cases, I received the answer, where's the problem, you know? Just go out and just do it. And I guess this has been one of the most popular answers. But however, if you look at the numbers, they do not lie. And I will just give you some of them for the food of thought. One of them is a pay gap. Just take Latvia as example. 15% pay gap we still have. It's a salary what receive men and women. Basically, for 2 months, women in Latvia work for free. Very similar situations in all of the Europe. The second number, women on boards. In Latvian private enterprise, 23% of women are represented in the boards levels of top 500 companies in Latvia. In the state-owned companies, around 30%. So, is something broken? Is something wrong with us? Ask this question during this day. And there's one more figure, one more number which I want to draw attention to it. The World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Index 2023, it was said that None of the countries worldwide has reached gender parity. But what shocks me is the calculation that at the current rate of progress, if we assume that we are in the progress state right now, it will take 103 years to reach full parity globally. In Europe, and I can tell you that despite COVID, actually, this number has increased, 67 years. So, we are not patient. We want this progress faster to ourselves and to our children. So why we are here? I think that we are here because we want to accelerate this progress. Supporting women's economic empowerment is thinking in terms of progress, welfare, growth. And I really believe that in such uncertain world where we are living right now, nothing is for granted, actually, right? So, but I believe that financially and professionally stronger women also means more resilient and more competitive society. So, what we are going to get today in the menu, what we have, I would say 3 + 1 things. So first of all, it's inspiration and energy. And as yesterday Ines said, this event is like energy boost. So take most of it, first thing. The second thing, it's learning. Women love to learn. And so we take into this account, and you will have a bunch of great master classes from which you can get very practical tips and tricks back home and actually can start implementing them already tomorrow. And the last, not least, let's network as crazy. This is a networking place. And those who know me, and I can tell you once again, 8 business cards, it's a minimum what you should get during this day. So better start working on that now. But the last but not least, it's about joy and it's about fun. So let's make this day also as a big celebration to celebrate our achievements, to celebrate our curiosity and eagerness to learn, to develop, to grow. So let's celebrate that. So fun is part of our ethos as well. And of course, thank you. Thank you all our partners. Thank you all our sponsors. Without you, nothing would be possible. So you see all these names, you see all these logos, brands, and the services and products these companies stand for, and the values they support. So wherever you have possibility to choose, consider this one as well. Choose them. So thank you very much. Big applause to them as well. And of course, this event is also very much about you, about the interaction with you, about the dialogue with you, about your questions, feedbacks, etc., etc. So we have a communications platform, Mentos, Menti.com. Let's download the QR code through which you can answer, you can ask questions to our speakers, you can comment, and as much as possible we will ask them here on this, we will deliver them also here on the stage. But please don't hesitate. It's also a nice place where to check what is the interest of the audience. But let me ask you the first question. So how do you feel today? From 1 to 5. So let's see what we will have.
Okay, open the QR code. Code 79911132. And the question will pop up. How do you feel?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Magic.
Magic.
Maybe. From 1 to 5, 4.3. 4.3 is really cool.
So we will ask this question after the conference as well. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should measure that during the day, so we can make adjustments. So we are very agile too, you know, because your well-being today, your level of energy and inspiration and empowerment is actually the most important keyword to us.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. And before we proceed further, one more question just to make it a bit more interactive. What are your expectations from today? One keyword. inspiration, fun, network, learning,
New ideas. Power, like power. I am. Isn't technology great?
yeah, nice, stronger ideas, power, networking, new contacts, new ideas, energy, fun, again, super. Fun, energy, and network. Okay, the bars are high, so let's rock and roll. And on the last note, we are here. It's Riga Technical University. Please raise a hand, those who are the first time here. 99%. We are so lucky that Riga Technical University has accepted our idea to have the third Novatore Impact Summit here in the Knowledge Lighthouse. And therefore, I would like to invite Tālis Juhna, the rector of the Riga Technical University, to address some ideas.
Before he says anything, today the vice rector, one of the vice rectors came up and said, "This, we just realized we've never had so many women." So with that, to Rector Tālis Juhna.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, and most importantly, the incredible women leaders gathered here today. Welcome at Riga Technical University to our Green Innovation Campus of the oldest science and technology university in the region. We are privileged to host Novatore Impact Summit this year. Not only because we have an honor to listen to so many distinguished speakers, but also because the very motto for the summit, economic empowerment, concurs with the strategic goal of our university to facilitate the growth of innovative economy. We believe that training of engineers, managers and leaders is one of our missions. However, the role of university has widened. Our university offers many opportunities for creating startups, working with industry and acting as facilitator to attract investments from high-tech industry. As many countries, we also experience a shortage of STEM graduates. Thus, we work with schools to promote interest in science. We realize that automation, on the other hand, has reduced their physical work, thus breaking the stigma that engineering should be dominated by the men and opening more opportunities for girls in tech. I recognize the significance of this moment and the importance of our collective commitment to advance gender equality and empower women in leadership roles. Latvia has a relatively high percentage of women in science and in many leadership positions at the government and institutional level. But also, I acknowledge that the journey towards the gender equality is far from over. Each of you has a unique story, a wealth of experience and determination of changing the status quo and redefining what it means to be a leader in today's world. We recognize many women's resilience, their courage and commitment to making the difference in their communities and beyond. I'm confident that discussion, insights, and collaboration that unfold over the summit will serve as a catalyst for meaningful change. Thank you for your dedication, for shaping our wisdom and passion, and for being the extraordinary leaders that you are. Welcome to Novatore Impact Summit.